Let me tell you something. I never wanted to be that guy. You know, the one trapped in a ridiculous neighborhood war over something as simple as property lines and parking spots. But that was before Karen moved in. I'm Desmond Gray, 62 years old, retired math teacher, generally patient but absolutely fed up with nonsense. And this? This was nonsense on a whole other level. Brisk October air. A steaming cup of coffee. Me, standing on my driveway, staring at a foreign white SUV inside my garage. At first, I thought, maybe I'm still half asleep. Maybe I parked a rental car and forgot. Nope. I rubbed my eyes. Still there. My garage door was wide open and someone else's vehicle was cozily nestled inside. I walked up, completely baffled. Me, muttering, "Who the hell just parks in someone else's garage?" There was no note, no explanation, just a blatant invasion of my personal space. And let me tell you, I do not handle entitlement well. Now, let's talk about Karen. She had only lived here for 2 months, but had already made an impression. She was younger than me by at least 2 decades, with a permanent scowl and a way of talking on her phone loud enough for the entire cul-de-sac to hear. I once overheard her loudly telling someone, "Karen. Ugh, I swear, I always get stuck living next to old people who have nothing going on." Gee, thanks, Karen. She always had that golden ponytail pulled so tight I half expected her scalp to give up one day. And her neon leggings? Let's just say they could stop traffic. She never acknowledged me when I tried to be polite, just a curt nod or a dismissive wave. And up until now, I figured that was fine. Not everyone has to be best friends with their neighbors, right? Wrong. About a week before the SUV incident, I had noticed something off. I was taking out my garbage when I saw Karen rummaging through my recycling bin. Now, I know some folks get weirdly passionate about recycling, but this wasn't normal. I casually asked, "Lose something?" She barely glanced up and said, "Karen, just checking if the collectors missed something of mine. My stuff blows around a lot." Yeah, right. I watched as she scanned my yard, my garage, my entire property, like she was mentally cataloging it. Still, I didn't say anything. Maybe she was just one of those people who like to keep tabs on their neighbors. But then, a week later, I woke up to find her car in my garage, and that's when I knew. This was personal. So there I was, standing in my own garage, staring at Karen's white SUV like it had fallen out of the sky. I walked around it, checking for clues. Driver's door? Unlocked. Passenger seat? Empty Starbucks cup and a yoga magazine. Back seat? A bright pink yoga mat. So, let me get this straight. She had deliberately parked in my garage, left her car unlocked, and wandered off to do yoga or God knows what. Oh, hell no. I pressed the button to close the garage door. Beep. Error. Karen had parked her SUV crookedly, and now the sensor was blocking the door from closing. My blood pressure spiked. I walked outside, debating if I should leave a polite note on her windshield. But before I could, I saw her. She was marching up the sidewalk, ponytail bouncing with every angry step. She looked furious. Karen, snapping, "What are you doing near my car?" I turned, my eyes nearly bulging out of my head. Me. "Your car?" Karen, "This is my garage." Karen, rolling her eyes. "Yeah, so?" The street was blocked and my driveway is full for moving. I needed a spot. O-O-H. So that's how we're playing it. Me. "You didn't think to ask first?" She actually scoffed. Karen. "Relax. I'll be back soon, so keep your door open." Then she turned on her heel and strutted away like I was some unpaid valet. And that was the moment I decided she had another thing coming. Now, I could have just called the cops. I could have had it towed. But Karen? Karen needed to learn a lesson. And I had just the plan. See, my garage had an old hasp on the side door, where I used to keep my spare bicycle locked up. And in my tool shed, I had a brand new steel padlock. I grabbed it, looped the hasp through the bracket, locked up tight from the inside, and slid under the half-open garage door. I stood back and admired my work. Her SUV was now a permanent guest in my garage. Then I calmly walked into my house, brewed another pot of coffee, and waited. Oh, this was going to be good. 3 hours later, I heard it. Bang, bang, bang. My front door rattled under Karen's fist-pounding fury. Karen, shrieking, "Desmond! Open the garage, now!" I casually opened the door, sipping my coffee. Me, "Oh, hey, Karen, back already?" Her nostrils flared. Karen, "What the hell did you do?" Me, "Oh, you mean to my garage? The one you parked in without permission?" Her face turned an alarming shade of red. Karen, "You can't lock it. My car is in there." I shrugged. Me, "Oh, I thought you wanted me to keep the door open." "Sorry, miscommunication." She nearly exploded. Karen, "You have to let me in." Me, let me think about that. Her jaw dropped, and just like that, the war officially began. Karen stood on my porch, fuming, looking like she was about to spontaneously combust. Karen, voice shaking, "You can't just keep my car locked in your garage. That's illegal." I sipped my coffee, completely unbothered. Me, "Illegal? That's interesting, Karen, because last time I checked, it's my garage. You know, the one you parked in without permission?" She clenched her fist so hard I thought she might punch my door. Karen, "You need to open it right now." Me, "Oh, I'd love to help, Karen. But see, I'm very busy at the moment." Karen, eyes twitching, "Doing what?" Me, "Enjoying my coffee." That's when she screeched so loudly I swear somewhere, a car alarm went off. Bang, bang, bang. She pounded on my door again. Karen, "I'll call the cops." Me, smirking, "Oh, please do. I'd love to see you explain to them how you broke into my garage and illegally parked there." Her eyes widened. Karen, "You wouldn't." Me, "I already did, Karen. Filed a police report this morning. You're officially on record for trespassing." Boom. Silence. For the first time, Karen was speechless. She just gaped at me, realizing she had no leg to stand on. I figured that would be the end of it. I figured Karen would take the L and move on. But no. Instead, she called reinforcements. About 30 minutes later, I heard a new knock at my door. Not Karen. This time? 2 HOA board members stood on my porch, and Karen? She stood behind them, smirking. HOA President, Howard. "Mr. Gray, we'd like to have a civil conversation about community cooperation." Ah, so that's how she wanted to play it. Me, crossing my arms. "Oh, by all means, Howard. Let's talk about cooperation." Howard shifted awkwardly. Howard, "Karen has informed us that you've taken extreme action by locking her vehicle inside your garage." I raised a brow. Me, "Did she also inform you that she parked there without permission?" Howard, "Well, she mentioned the circumstances were a little unclear." Me, "Oh, they're very clear, Howard. Would you like to see my security footage?" Karen's smug grin vanished. Karen, "That's unnecessary." Me, No, I insist. Let's watch you walk right into my garage like you own the place." Howard sighed, rubbing his temples. Howard, "Look, we don't need this to escalate. Can you just unlock the garage and let her take her car?" I smiled. Me, "Of course. I'd be happy to unlock it." Karen perked up instantly. Karen, "Finally, you're being reasonable." Me, grinning, "Oh, but first, you just need to pay the parking fee." Karen's face dropped. Karen, "What fee?" Me, "Well, seeing as you've been using my garage as your own personal parking space, I think a fee is fair." Karen, "That's ridiculous." Me, "So is breaking into someone's garage, but here we are." Howard cleared his throat. Howard, "Let's be reasonable." Me, "Sure. She just needs to apologize, admit she was wrong, and promise never to do it again." Karen looked like she'd rather eat glass. Karen, "I am not apologizing." Me, "Then the car stays?" Boom. Silence. Howard and the other HOA board member looked at each other, unsure what to do. Howard, Karen, maybe just say sorry. Karen, no. He's being completely unreasonable. Me, unreasonable? Karen, you literally stole my garage. If you want your car, you apologize. She stomped her foot. Karen, through clenched teeth, fine. I'm sorry. Me, louder, with feeling. Karen, I'm sorry. Me, for? Karen, for parking in your garage without permission. Me, and? Karen, and for assuming I could do whatever I wanted. Me, good girl. Karen practically combusted. I took my sweet time unlocking the garage door, savoring every second of her humiliation. She snatched her keys, jumped in her SUV, and floored it out of there so fast she nearly took out my mailbox. I thought that was the end of it. But oh no. Karen? She wasn't done yet. The next morning, I found an HOA violation notice taped to my door. Your garage is in violation of HOA Code 14B, unauthorized storage and property misuse. Karen's name, right at the bottom. Oh, this was war. I grabbed my phone, dialed my lawyer, and said, Me. Hey, remember that Karen I told you about? She just made her biggest mistake yet. Lawyer. Oh boy, what did she do now? Me. She just gave me the perfect reason to get her kicked out of the HOA. And just like that, the real battle began. Karen had declared all-out war. The HOA violation notice on my door wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration of battle. Your garage is in violation of HOA Code 14B, unauthorized storage and property misuse. Karen's name right at the bottom. I smiled, because now she had made a mistake, a big one. She put her name on the paper, which meant I now had written proof that she was using the HOA as her personal revenge machine. Me calling my lawyer. Hey, remember Karen? She just handed me the ammo I needed. Lawyer, let me guess, she filed an official complaint? Me. Yup. And it's total nonsense. Lawyer, laughing. That's called retaliation harassment. HOA boards can't use rules to punish residents over personal disputes. Me. So what you're saying is, I can take this to the HOA board and file a counter-complaint. Lawyer. Oh, absolutely. And if they ignore it, we can take legal action. I grinned. Karen thought she could weaponize the HOA against me. She had no idea who she was messing with. Time to fight back. That night, I drafted my own HOA complaint. Formal grievance, abuse of HOA authority, and retaliatory harassment. I listed every violation Karen had committed: illegally parking in my garage, ignoring property boundaries, filing fraudulent complaints for personal revenge. I even attached my security footage of her walking into my garage without permission. But here's the best part. I printed copies and hand-delivered them to every single HOA board member. Oh yeah. If Karen wanted a war, I was bringing thermonuclear levels of retaliation. 3 days later, I showed up at the HOA board meeting. The room was packed. Apparently, word had spread that Karen had gone too far. At the center of the table sat Howard, HOA president, Diane, vice president, and a few other board members. And, of course, Karen, sitting with her arms crossed, grinning like she already won. Karen, fake sweetly. Oh, Desmond, I'm so glad you're here. I assume you're ready to accept responsibility for your garage violation? I smiled. Me. Oh, absolutely, Karen. But before we discuss my violation, I have some documents for the board to review. I calmly handed each board member a thick packet. All my security footage, all my evidence, and most importantly, Karen's signed violation notice, the one that proved she was targeting me personally. Karen's smug grin twitched. Howard, flipping through pages, frowning. Karen, is this true? Did you park in his garage without permission? Karen sat up straighter. Karen, scoffing. I mean, let's not get distracted here. Desmond is the one violating HOA rules. Me. Actually, I have a lawyer who says you violated HOA rules. Boom. Karen froze. Howard. Karen, did you file this violation in response to your personal dispute with Desmond? Karen, sputtering. That's not, it's not retaliation. I was just enforcing the rules. Diane, leaning forward. Karen, HOA guidelines state that board members cannot use rule enforcement for personal vendettas. Howard, sternly. This looks an awful lot like retaliation. Karen's face was turning redder by the second. Karen, okay, but his garage does look messy. That's a violation. Me. Karen, do you even know what's in my garage? Karen, well, no, but me. So how can you claim I'm violating storage rules if you've never seen the inside of my garage? Karen's mouth snapped shut. Diane, smirking. That's a great question, Karen. Howard, shaking his head. Karen, you have one chance to explain yourself. Karen opened her mouth, then closed it, then opened it again. And nothing came out. She had no excuse. She was caught. Howard. All right, I think we've heard enough. Howard turned to the rest of the board. Howard. We're voting on two things. 1. Dropping Desmond's violation because it's clearly retaliatory. Diane. Agreed. Board member number 2. Agreed. Board member number 3. Definitely agreed. Karen's face twisted into pure rage. Karen. You can't do this. You can't. Howard, ignoring her. Second vote, should Karen be removed from the HOA board for misconduct? Karen's jaw dropped. Karen. You wouldn't. Howard. All in favor? Diane. Yes. Board member number 2. Yes. Board member number 3. Absolutely yes. Howard, nodding. Majority rules. Karen, you're officially removed from your HOA position. Boom. Karen was fired. She shot up from her chair, knocking it over. Karen, shrieking, This isn't over. Me. Oh, Karen, it really is. She stormed out of the meeting, furious. And that's when the rumors started. News spread fast. And let me tell you, the neighbors were thrilled. People came up to me after the meeting, shaking my hand. Neighbor number 1. Thank you for getting rid of her. Neighbor number 2. She fined me $50 for having a wind chime. A wind chime. Neighbor number 3. She made me take down my Christmas lights in November. Turns out, everyone hated Karen. And now she had no power left. But the best part? The very next morning, a for sale sign went up in Karen's front yard. Oh yeah, she was leaving. And all I could do was smile. Game. Set. Match. Karen's power trip was officially over. She'd been kicked off the HOA board. She'd been publicly humiliated. And now, she was selling her house. I should have been celebrating, right? Except, Karen wasn't leaving quietly. Oh no. She was going out with one final explosion of insanity. A week after Karen's dramatic HOA meltdown, I woke up to something strange. The neighborhood was quieter than usual, eerily quiet. Then I saw it. A giant neon yard sign in front of my house. It read, Warning, hostile neighbor who steals cars and destroys community spirit. Oh my God. Karen had lost her mind, but that wasn't even the worst part. I turned to look at her house and more signs. She had put signs all over her front yard. I was forced out by a malicious neighbor. Don't buy here. This community is toxic. Who destroyed my life? This woman was literally trying to sabotage her own home sale. Neighbor number 1. Desmond? You see what's happening? Me. Oh, I see it. I just don't believe it. Neighbor number 2, laughing. She's having a full-scale public meltdown. Me. Should we call someone? Like a therapist? Karen wasn't just leaving the neighborhood. She was going full scorched earth mode on the way out. By noon, the HOA board had enough. Diane, HOA VP, marched straight up to Karen's house. Diane: Karen, this is absurd. Take the signs down now. Karen, arms crossed, smug as ever. Oh, Diane, I would love to, but free speech, right? Diane, fuming. Karen, you are violating HOA policy on public disturbances. Karen: Oh, you mean the same HOA that illegally removed me from the board? Diane, exasperated. Karen, you were removed for abuse of power, and we all know it. Karen's grin vanished. She wasn't smug anymore. She was desperate. Karen: Fine. Then sue me. Oh boy, Karen just dared the HOA to take legal action, and you know what? They did. The very next day, Karen received an official legal notice. Karen Henderson, you are in violation of HOA Bylaw 8.4 on public disturbances. You have 48 hours to comply or face legal consequences. She had pushed them too far. She thought she was untouchable. But guess what? The HOA had receipts, and the neighbors had complaints. Karen had no allies left. By the end of the week, the signs were gone. Karen's house was officially listed. And then, a moving truck pulled up. Oh yeah, she was leaving. For real. Neighbor number 3. I never thought I'd live to see this day. Me, grinning. Good riddance. Karen glared at me one last time as she loaded up her car. Karen, gritting her teeth. Enjoy your stupid garage, Desmond. I hope the next HOA president is worse than me. Me. That would be impossible. She slammed her car door. Then, she was gone, for good. The entire neighborhood felt lighter without Karen. People actually started smiling again. The HOA board revised its rules to prevent power-hungry lunatics from ever taking control again. And me? I finally got my peace and quiet back. No more Karen. No more drama. No more insane garage invasions. And the best part? Karen's house sat on the market for months. Why? Because her HOA reputation was so bad that no one wanted to buy it. Neighbor number 4. Imagine sabotaging your own home sale out of pure pettiness. Me. Sounds about right for Karen. And that, my friends, is how I finally won. Game, set, match.